Hey, what's up? We're talking about equation models today. So we're going to write equations based on models, and there's some things you've got to know before we get started. Okay, what you're looking at, if you see a plus or you just see a minus, you have to know that these represent constants. Constants are numbers without the variables. Okay, so if you see a positive, that represents +1. If you see a negative, that's -1. Okay, the other thing that you're going to see in models are the variables. So it's x or a negative x. It could be w. It could be x. It could be y. It could be any letter of the alphabet, right? Variables can be any letter. You just have to know that there's a difference between constants and variables, and you cannot add them together because they're not the same thing. Okay. All right, so we're going to look at writing the equation. We're going to look at our model. We're going to count up the variables, count up the constants. So you got to know how to count. You got to watch your variables. And let's see it. Don't overcomplicate it. Here we go. So we have a model. When we have the balance, we're saying that the two sides are equal to each other. That's what a balance tells us, right? It tells us whether things are equal or unequal. So with our equations, it should always be equal. I'm going to count what I have on the left side. So I count my variables. There's no variables on the left side. I count these all represent +1. So I count them up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that represents +8. I look on the right side. I have variables. I have two of them. I have two x's. That literally created my equation. 8 equals 2x. Okay. That's what we're doing. Count up the variables, count up the constants. Count up the variables, count up the constants, watch the signs. Okay, so let's do it again. All right, so I see it's balanced, so this tells me these two sides are the same value. Okay, they equal the same. So we look on the left, we're going to count up our variables. I have 1, 2, 3 x's. And I'm going to count up the constants. Remember, those are different than variables. Okay, this is -1, 2, 3, 3 negatives, so -3. Okay, on the other side, I'm going to have my variables. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, so that's 6x. Okay, so my equation then is 3x minus 3 on the left side equals 6x on the right side. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Don't overcomplicate it. That's literally all that we're doing. Okay, I have my balance. So find your two sides, because if not, you write wonky things. Okay, count up the variables. So I have 1x. Count up the constants. These are all positives. It's 5 positives. If you say positive, put the plus sign there. Okay, it'll help you with the proper formatting for your equation. All right, on the right side, count up your variables. There's 1, 2, 3 x's. Count up the constants. There's 2, and they're both negative, so -2. There's my equation. X plus 5 equals 3x minus 2. Okay, notice I have the 1x here, but I didn't write it in my equation. 1x is the exact same as x. If you need to see the 1, write it. You don't have to. Get real comfortable without seeing it. Okay, x plus 5 equals 3x minus 2. Do it again, right? That's all that we're doing, is just showing that I can write the equation. Then we'll get to solving them, but right now, can I write what this represents? Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. Then I count my constants. They're both negative. There's 2 of them. Okay, count my variables, 2 x's. Count the constants. There's 3 positives. There's my equation, 5x minus 2 equals 2x plus 3. Feeling all right with this? Here we go. This one doesn't have the balance, but it's still a model, okay? We already have our equal sign, so I have my left and my right side. And count the variables, count the constants. So I have 1, 2, 3, but they're all negatives. Watch for that. So this is -3x. Then I'm going to count my constants, okay? I have 1, 2, 3 rows of 4, so that's 12, 13, 14, so +14. On the right side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all positive, so 4x. So my equation is -3x plus 14 equals 4x. Okay, writing equations, not solving yet. We'll get there. All right, here we go. Last one. Okay, this one's a little bit different. The clear boxes are going to be the positives. The dark ones are going to be our negatives. So we're going to count up the constants. So I have positive 5. Count up your variables, right? Left and right side. So I have negative 5x here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all negative. On the left side, count up the constants. So there's negative 7. Count up the variables. There's positive 3x. There's my equation. 5 minus 5x equals negative 7 plus 3x. Sometimes people ask, well, does it matter what order? I could totally rewrite this as negative 5x plus 5 equals 3x minus 7. Those are the same, right? I have positive 5, negative 5x, negative 5x. Now on the other side, I have negative 7. There's my negative 7. Positive 3x, positive 3x. Everything matches, so I could write it either way. Be comfortable with that. Sometimes you write it one way, somebody else writes it a different way. You both can be correct as long as your signs are with the proper thing and your variables with the proper number. All right, that's it. That's all with modeling. Hopefully you're feeling confident with it.